Did you watch All In yet, Conan?
Yeah.
You did. Joe, did you watch All In?
I've seen the first half.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about it. I didn't see it, but I'm gonna let you guys talk about it.
Now,
what do you want?
Cool.
What do you want to talk?
That's cool. I'm glad we're doing that review and all DI, but I just wanted you to know so we can schedule that I sent you 4 ads we got to cut.
I know. We'll do those tomorrow.
Okay.
They're all long. So
Okay.
I gotta. I can't just do them right away.
No, I got you.
So the pre-show. This was hysterical, bro. They did okay. I didn't realize that nobody really talked about this. Okay. But in the pre-show, they had Jeff Jarrett and Karen Angle doing a live Q&A in front of the crowd. Okay,
I didn't see this.
Cody, all right, this is hilarious. So and I'm surprised Jeff did this because I don't know if they were ambushed or but they're just asking fans questions in the crowd. So the first guy that had a question, his name was Billy, some guy named Billy. Okay, not our, just some Billy guy, right? Bro, you know what Billy's question was? This is an all-in pre-show. Who's better in bed, Jeff or Kurt Angle? so they kind of obviously they're taking it back, and like Karen goes, "Well, you see who I'm up here with now." Okay. Right. Then Jericho starts challenging the guy. Why don't you come up here and stuff and all that? Then Karen starts leading the crowd in the chant. Billy has. Bro, this is the pre-show. So see if we can find the clip of that. Look at Karen Angle and Jeff Jarrett Q&A for All In pre-show.
Yeah.
This is like Vince was telling me about this today when I did. I was like, I'm surprised more people didn't talk about this. Right?
I didn't see it.
Okay. So all right. So then also in the pre-show, let's just start off with the news here. We already talked about it yesterday, but Brian Alvarez said he talked to 12 people. And he doesn't know who's telling the truth, but this is the most credible version that he thinks of the story. What happened is okay. So Jack Perry obviously did the match with Hook. They were going to do the match with the car. They Jack Perry made the comment in the thing, hey, this is real glass, something like take a shot at Punk, right? So they went and did the spot, and actually Perry got cut up a little bit. All right. So they go in the back, and Samoa Joe and Punk are supposed to be the first match. All right. So they comes back there, and Punk basically says, "Hey, you got a problem with me?" And then Perry says, "Well, you heard me." And and the Punk says, "I can kick." And I guess there was a shove and a punch and a front face. Like I heard this lasted seconds. This was a very quick, very brief exchange. Okay, and it got broken up, and in the chaos, one of the TV monitors got knocked in like Tony Khan's lap because this is right at the gorilla position, right in front of Tony Khan. The funniest thing about this is like they said there's going to be an investigation when the incident happened right in front of the boss. Okay, I don't know what needs to be investigated. It's like what all right, the investigation. What's Tony going to do, right? Okay, all right. So Punk didn't want to do the match. They asked FTR, and then supposedly the show didn't really start on time here because there's some time that went by. Supposedly, this is all Brian Alvarez's version, and it kind of adds up because the show did start. The first match was 10 minutes after the show was supposed to start, which could lend credence to because how Tony likes to start off hot. They just send the guy to the ring and we start the show, right? So they asked FTR if they could do. They go, no, we're not ready. And then they asked the 6-man match, the Bucks and them, can you guys go? We're not, we have an incident here. They said okay, but then Joe was and convinced Punk we need to go out and do this match, and Punk agreed, and so they went out and did it. And I guess if you watch Punk come out for his entrance, he's obviously very okay. And
now
Punk,
I was just also along those lines. Even though we talked about it yesterday, it's now been reported that the Punk Miro back and forth was joking. That wasn't real, but people have reported it like they really had a confrontation. Well, and I've read that they did not. And also, he also was yelling at Tony Khan apparently and threatening to quit. Supposedly.
That's from the Torch. So I don't know. Bro, these dirt sheet guys.
Right, but I got this clip for you.
All right.
It's in a few seconds anyway.
Well, just before we play the clip, Conan, do you have any comments on the CM Punk Samoa Joe match?
Well, half the crowd was booing Punk. Joe was like the baby face in this match. It's like, when the last time I saw him on Collision, half the crowd was booing him. He should just, embrace, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like LeBron did. Right, like LeBron did. Exactly. He was trying to be Mr. Nice Guy, and everybody was being a with him. She said, "You want me to be a all right? I will be." You know, and that they had that crazy UK energy that you find in international crowds, or Puerto Rico or Mexico. You know, he did that. Did you see the match or no, Disco?
No, I don't watch it. I'm not going to watch it. It's too long, bro.
So he did that spot. He did that spot that Terry Funk used to do. Remember when Terry used to sit on the second rope? They would punch him, then he'd come back like that. He did that, which I'm assuming is a ode to him. And and I think during this match, they definitely did it at least twice. They mentioned that Mercedes Moné was there. But anyways, a good match. But I think the thing that stood out to me is how many people are starting to boo him.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So here's the All In pre-show. This RJ Belt story. What's this guy's name? RJ City.
Fans are already losing their minds. 2 of those mindless fans are here with me now. What are your names, Tony? Andrew. Where are you guys from? Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay, so that's not that. Maybe it's the next one.
Get to where Jeff Jarrett and Karen are out there. That's not Jeff Jarrett.
I think it's in the crowd. Jungle Boy, blah, blah, blah. You said pre-show, right?
It's a pre-show.
All right, here's the Ring of Honor match.
Well, maybe it was on something before that. I'm just going by what Vince told me right there.
Maybe he just meant maybe it's in the first hour of the show, but I don't know. I'll
no, he didn't write. It's not on the pay-per-view. It's on the. Vince said he saw this on the pre-show.
Why don't you put All In Jeff Jarrett?
Because that's just not going to be on YouTube. They take it down. This is the.
How do you know?
Shady one.
Hang on.
Because they do.
Let me find it. Okay. Oh, here we go. I got it right here. All right. Okay. So go to here.
Send it to my
Kurt Angle. Just do Kurt Angle, Jeff Jarrett, Karen Angle. And it's the third video. Got it?
And it's just, okay. During the Q&A?
Yeah. Right. 1 minute clip.
All right. I thought you meant the show. Hang on.
Oh, I guess this wasn't on a pre. This is just on a Q&A.
Yep. All right.
Okay. All right. Well, it looks like it's at the pre-show.
I was better Jeff Angle.
Excuse me? No, let him repeat the question. Go on, Shrek. Okay.
First of all,
what was his name, Billy? Who am I sitting next to right now, Billy? That should answer your question. Oh, he's coming! He's coming! He's coming! Jeff!
Step forward, Billy.
Where's Billy?
What's your name?
All right, never mind. I guess it's at the Q&A the night. I don't know what Vince saw that on. Maybe they had a live version that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the next match is from. So the next match is a 6-man. Omega, Ibushi, and Hangman versus Jay White, Juice Robinson, and Kensuke Takeshita. Takeshita pinned Kenny here. I imagine it's a pretty good match because all these guys are pretty good workers. I'm growing on Jay White and Juice Robinson's work because I especially Juice Robinson because he's got a very weird style and gimmick kind of like he's kind of like. I don't know, but his work is solid.
Spaz,
yeah, he's just like kind of weird, spazzy, but he looks tough. He works tough, So, what did you do? First of all, what type of crowd reactions?
Good crowd reaction.
Think of this. Any comments on this, or just typical?
Well, to me, the highlight of this, okay, the crowd was hot. Okay, and you would have popped because right in the middle of the match, they did Ibushi and Jay White did the fighting spirit forearm spot that you hate.
Right.
And this you would have loved. Jim Ross actually said, I've never understood this. What are they trying to prove? Who's the tougher guy? That's it.
That's great. That's fantastic. I love that. It's true, though. If fans are watching this, like a lot of fans are probably asking, why are they doing this? Which is what JR's asking. Why are they doing this? So.
Right.
Well, let me ask you a question. What was the response of Excalibur?
Nothing, and Excalibur should have said something, and Callis should have said something because he was on commentary and he worked Japan. Right. And then on another part, Ross goes, "Come on, ref, you gotta say something when they're using their fist, right?" He goes, I have no idea who's a legal man. Does it even matter?
He's burying the refs, right? Yeah.
And then he tells the ref, he goes, this is exactly what he said. He goes, ref, you can disqualify someone when they don't release a hold. And then one of the commentators says, the ref has lost control of the match. And Ross goes, you're right. He was great. He was great.
That's entertaining, right?
You're right. Yeah.
So next was
that was the highlight of that match for me.
So next was the big match between FTR and the Young Bucks. That's for the legacy, I guess. I don't know. And the FTR 21. Yeah, interesting. I've noticed these. Okay, first 3 matches. Here are the times: 14 minutes, 20 minutes, and 21 minutes. Okay, that's but we haven't gotten like any 35. That's about the most you can get. Like that's a decent time for a pay-per-view. You can't really go if you go longer than 20 minutes, it does get exhausting. Like there's a pace that the fans are kind of used to in a match. When you start doing the kickouts and the finishes and start going home, if you go too long, they get exhausted.
There's only a certain amount of false finishes.
Bro, there's just on a show like when you're doing a long show like this that has a lot of matches, you kind of we would go and find out what other guys are doing. Okay, you go like on pay-per-view shows, you would go and find out, are you doing this? What are you doing? Hey, nobody's doing this, right? And then you go there, hey, is anybody doing this spot? You just want to make sure you don't repeat a lot of spots in the show, right? But matches, when you're laying out matches like this and you're looking at the show, you got to think okay, how are we going to get what are we going to get the biggest pop on for the finish? And a lot of times you do too many false finishes, and the false finishes would have gotten bigger pops if the match would have ended there than it would later in the match. So you kind of got to feel the crowd and watch the matches and see what's going on to not go too long or get your match drags out and you lose the fans. So but the FTR went over. What do you think? What did you think about this?
I thought this was very good. They threw everything at each other but the kitchen sink. And they did a couple little clapbacks. One of them that I like, which I had seen before, they did like that when the guy's on his knees and they kind of hit him with a double B trigger. FTR did to the Young Bucks, and then they give him a kiss on each cheek. Remember that the Young Bucks did that to them before?
Right.
I laughed at that. Bro, the finish was great. There were a couple great finishes here, but they went for the Meltzer driver, and then these guys hit him with the Shatter Machine. Their finish. Right. Bro, it was perfectly timed. This was a really good match and a really good finish. Yeah.
So next was the Anarch. What did they call this?
Some sort of brawl, right?
Stadium
Stampede. No.
Stadium Stampede match, and they had Eddie Penta, Cassidy, Taylor, and Beretta against Moxley, Claudio, Utah, Santana, Ortiz. There was a silly spot here where they stuck this wood thing in Moxley's head, and it was just absurd, And it was funny. I had completely forgotten I did this, Joe. I wasn't watching the show, but I was watching Twitter, and that JD from New York guy made some really marky tweet, and I quote tweet him, right? So, but I did because of what I wanted to see, and I wanted to experiment because I just remembered I did this. I forgot I tweeted this, right? I wanted to do an experiment because I knew everybody would blister me, I want to see how many fans that attack me on Twitter. The percentage of them have cartoons for profile pictures, and their tweets are all about wrestling. Just I wonder if I've actually if I trigger people that are obsessed with wrestling, as an experiment. I'm going to do the metrics on that tonight at work and get back to you.
You're going to find a high percentage.
A very, very high percentage, I would imagine.
Okay, the first thing that stands out to me in this match is what is Ortiz supposed to be? A ranch hand or a Wajito, which is like a guy from the countryside of Puerto Rico. What exactly is he going for? I don't know. He went from a thug to a cowboy or something. I'm not sure.
Right.
Orange Cassidy at the end, he taped his fist with glass and he hit the guy with the orange punch. I think it was Claudio. Here's the problem with this match. They do too many hardcore matches. If you remember, not too long ago, they had that. This was the Stadium Stampede, right, Joe?
Yeah.
Or no?
Yes.
What was this called?
Stadium Stampede.
They had that anarchy that you were talking about in the arena. They had that blood and guts. They had that parking lot brawl.
Mm-hmm.
It's
they had the blood and guts match, right? The following week, they did another match that broke down to like blood and guts type, like hardcore stuff.
Right.
Like it's like, bro, these are supposed to be attractions, but if you're doing them on the free TV all the time, it's like this is just
right.
like
The novelty wears off.
Novelty wears off.
What are you saving for the big event? Right.
What are you selling?
Then they had the mom come out in the van, which obviously is over to all those nerds. And she came out with like a cookie sheet with cookies, and they used a cookie sheet as a weapon. Then Penta, which I have no reason, because this was like over before it even began. He came out with this outfit where he's supposed to be like Pentagon Dark, which is throwback to Lucha Underground days. Right. And bro, he wasn't even out there 3 minutes, and he got put through a table by Santana, and that was the end of him, you know? So you come out with this dark character, and he gets put out in 3 minutes. Made no sense. Yeah.
So, so the baby faces went over there. I think I'm pretty sure the baby faces got over in every match so far, right?
And one
the heels went over to the 6-man. Yeah, go ahead.
One thing regarding like all the blood and guts and stadium stampede stuff, I don't think we mentioned is that in the opening match, Punk bled. And just it only stood out to me because obviously they use a lot of blood, but it stood out to me because Punk has been positioning himself as someone who wants the new rules and let's be logical. But he's bleeding in an opener. You know,
this show is just has so many. It's like the wires are so crossed on this show. It's like you're doing blood and everything and all to try to tell the seriousness, but the angles and the stories and like the whole concept of the show is still kind of based on comedy and skits. You know, like the Adam Cole skits. Yeah. You know, so and then bro, like you got like this is supposed to be a bloody brawl, like War Games. You know, like these guys. You know, Eddie's Claudio. There's like a blood feud and stuff, right? And then like the mom comes in and like somebody thought of the spot. Okay, hey, we could use the cookie tray as a spot. Why don't we have mom come down with cookies and like give for the cookie? And we could use the tray for a spot. And which even Conan's describing that to me. If I'm the agent in this match, I'd be going like, guys, you really want to put that type of silly middle of this bloody match you're doing? It's like that's absurd, you know. Like I mean, what do you think about that, Conan?
Well, because that's I think that type of crowd digs it. You know, they like comedy and they like silliness. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not that I don't, but I think that's a little too silly for my taste. But then again, you know, it ain't like I haven't done silly myself. Right. But okay, next.
Well, that's the thing. Like the Filthy Animals were based on pranksters, you know, doing goofy. You know, that was like our gimmick. You know, we're like doing funny stuff, right? Like the Hollywood Knights. Remember that movie Hollywood Knights?
Yep.
How they tortured the city and tortured those two cops, Officer Bimbo. Yep. Officer Bimbo is my favorite movie cop of all time, by the way. Tremendous. Officer Bimbo.
Mine is the guy from Police Academy.
Clark and Bimbo.
Denzel and Training Day.
Well, these are tough guys, but the Clark and Bimbo were two schmucks who are like.
We're talking about comedy.
Right, yeah. Right.
This guy brings up Denzel.
Yeah. What do you call it? The guys in Super Troopers.
And you know what else are two funny cops? The Rock and what's his name in
Sam Jackson.
Guys. Yeah,
that was great.
That was a short little. They had a short part of that movie. It was hysterical. You know,
dude. I saw that in the theater. That's the most laughter I've ever heard in the theater.
I had
the whole movie.
I don't think I've laughed harder than the first 10 minutes of that movie than I did. Like, it's been years since I laughed that part.
The other guys.
The other guys with
Farrell and Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, and remember The Rock and
Sam Jackson
were the hard ass cops, like
the hot shots.
I don't think I saw that. Yeah,
they should have gotten an Academy Award for that because they were great, and they were only in the movie for like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
they just like.
I'm gonna check that out. Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Go on YouTube. I'm sure you can probably watch the YouTube clip. Yeah. The first 10 minutes of that movie is hysterical, right? You literally, I will give you $100 if you do not laugh out loud at some of the spots that they do there. Right? So Akira Shida.
You're exactly right, Di. The first 10 minutes of the other guys is on YouTube under Sony Pictures Entertainment.
Go watch that tonight, Conan. It's hysterical.
I'll send it to you.
So next was Akira Shida versus Tony Storm versus Sarai versus Britt Baker, and Sarai comes out to "We Will Rock You," which immediately should have told you, okay, well, we know who's winning the match. I saw a YouTube clip or a clip on Twitter of one of the spots in this match where what's her name was holding up Toni Storm, she's got
Paige
Toni Storm. Paige had her held up, and Toni Storm is elevated off the ground but flat, right? And Britt Baker comes running and gives her the curb stomp, but they've got Storm's arms hooked, so Storm can't take the bump and protect herself. Bro, Storm's head bounces right off the mat, like hard. I'm going. How do these girls not protect themselves out there? But basically, Saraya goes over. How are they not going to put her over in the middle of Wembley playing We Will Rock You? So, what did you think of this, Konnan?
Bro, let me tell you what was weird. So Britt came out with Superstar Pyro. She was not over. Right. Toni, who I'm a huge fan of because she's very physical, okay? And I like her as a heel. She was not over, okay? But when Saraya came out, she came out with her family. She was super over. The other girl, was it Sheeta?
Yeah.
She wasn't really that over either. And now they're already teasing tension between, because she hit her mom by mistake, Saraya's mom. And then at the end, Saraya kind of they had problems. And Saraya used I call it the 187 because I actually invented that move. And the only other person I saw do that move was Teddy Hart, which he saw me do it. So I wonder who she saw doing it, me or Teddy. But yeah, she was super over and actually did not look bad in the match.
Wait, the 187 for Saraya, right? That's what you're talking about?
Yep.
I think she got it from you. I think I read that. Not Teddy.
Wait, people stealing Konnan's moves? That's
and what's her name uses it? She's a big mark for Konnan. Ben Hameen said that Serena Deeb.
Yeah, she used Tequila Sunrise.
I want to do a quick little sidebar here, Konnan. Quick little sidebar.
Right.
Okay. So I was in a rabbit hole. I don't know if you saw my tweet. Okay.
No.
I was in a rabbit hole. I tweeted about that. I said Devo has a lot of really cool stuff. I said hot take. Devo had a lot of really great songs. Right.
Right.
Okay. Tell me this is not a great. Okay. This is from the song "We're Through Being Cool." Okay. Tell me this is. If I came out and if they came out and cut a promo, this is my verbiage. Would you pop? All right. We're through being cool. We're through being cool. Eliminate the ninnies and the twits. Going to bang some heads. Going to beat some butts. Time to show those evil spuds what's what. If a wrestler came out and said that on the mic, would you pop?
No.
You would not pop?
No, I would boo him.
All right. Next is Darby Allin and Sting versus Christian Cage and Swerve Strickland with our boy Prince Nana, who Swerve does not need. I don't. Yeah, that's kind of weird. I don't know why they took. I like Fox and Curve to.
Right, that was weird, bro. You just went in there and you destroyed the guy in his training and made fun of his dad, and now the next week you're saying I'm sorry.
It's like you guys got over. It's like and then right. Right? I don't know.
Why do you even do that angle then? I don't understand.
It's like it was a good heel tag team that was getting good heel heat.
Right. Bro, they look good together with the ski mask and
you got all these babyface tag teams that need heels to fight against. FTR,
right.
the Bucks.
Do you even do that angle? Yeah.
I don't know. It's like
right.
I don't know. So they showed so I guess it was a coffin. It was a coffin match. Luchasaurus showed up. Sting slammed the lid on the back of Swerve. Allen executed a coffin drop onto the lid while Swerve was sticking out of it. Jeez, that must have hurt. Then Allen got up and closed the lid to give his team the win. They defeated them in 16 minutes. How was this match?
Well, yeah, it was good. It wasn't bad, but it's another hardcore match. The only thing is this was a little bit more different. And
you have 4 professionals in there, or you had 2 professionals, Swerve and Christian, that, bro, Sting's been doing some spots lately, and it's kind of like these younger cats aren't really trying to take care of him out there, and the guy's 63 years old. It's like seeing those spots where guys are kind of rough with him, and then guys. So did you get that in this, or how are they?
Maybe Sting is telling him, don't take it easy on me so I don't look like an old man or something. Who knows? But at the end of the day, they did a coffin drop where Swerve was on top, and then at the last moment he moved and he ate it. And then at the end, bro, he was halfway out of the coffin, like his head and his arms, and this guy hit the coffin drop for the finish.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it must have
I don't know
hurt.
how he didn't get. Yeah.
Fozzy comes out and he starts doing the Deo thing. There's a throwback to Queen because they're in Wembley. So obviously, I'm sure everybody. Did you get that, Joe? Obviously?
Yeah, and Chris came out singing live. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So then Ospreay and Jericho. And so Sammy was out there with Jericho, and Don Callis was out there with Ospreay. Makes perfect sense. Why would Jericho go out there by himself if Don Callis is going to be there? Yeah. How often do they do that? Where like the heel faction has their guys out there, the babyface doesn't have his guys out there. It's like so they can do a run-in later. It's like it makes no, like you're doing all these factions. Like we'll just wait.
Yeah, and you wonder why didn't he come out at the beginning with him? Right. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And as I sent you guys yesterday, even though we tried to confirm or deny the Punk Miro rumors via Chris Jericho, he informed me, of course, that he will not stooge for K100. So
yeah, what a he's gonna let I'm gonna bury Jericho right now. All we're doing is asking him if these stories are accurate or not, bro. Alvarez can talk to 12 people there, and we can't even get Chris.
Here's a great thing, Jericho. This is the great thing, Jericho. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4 people backstage that already told me what happened without me even asking. So,
Okay, so what version of the story is true?
It's pretty close. Alvarez is pretty close to what happened. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Did the Miro? So
I didn't ask about Miro. Nobody told me about Miro. Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. And so here's two things that you should try and find out. Find out about Miro and find out about the story if Punk was yelling at Tony Khan in the office and threatening to quit. All right.
All right. I know he did threaten to quit. That I know for a fact.
Okay, sorry. So this is I just want to. We're keeping it 100. I want to get the report straight on this show. I don't want to because we're suspending people from our mailbag for reporting misinformation. I don't want to report misinformation unless, of course, it's a good story.
Should I start greasing some people and getting the rumors from that? Just throw them a couple bucks, maybe.
Wouldn't hurt.
So we could have a newsletter. What happens if Punk quits, though? What happens? He's not on pay or play, right? He's not going to get his contract paid out all the way, or would he?
No. Not if he quit. How do you get paid out if you quit?
I don't know. I don't know what kind of contract he has.
So the story is here that he's thrown the first punch twice.
He's what now?
Thrown the first punch twice.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows? He's Joey, bro. The reason the WWE didn't want him in the locker room. They just didn't want him back. They let WWE. It's like almost like it's a coup. It's like they literally like coerced AEW into taking Punk, and look at what he's done to their locker room. It's crazy, huh? How was this match? Will Ospreay and Jericho, did they work good together? It was I would have thought that maybe Ospreay, they would do the thing where Ospreay's speed and quickness would be thwarting Jericho, would be the story I would tell, because Jericho's a step slower than he used to be, and Ospreay's an incredible athlete. So how did this match go?
Well, he's been putting people over. He's been taking a couple of losses recently. I think he wants to make people or maybe go crazy because he's losing. It was a good match. This is not his style of a match, but it just shows that he can wrestle anybody. I mean, Phoenix and Ospreay would have been a whole different, you know what I'm saying? But it just shows Jericho, no matter what you put him in, he can adapt. You know what I'm saying? He did a beautiful in the air to the outside, a beautiful sky twister. I call it a tumbleweed, a sky twister, and Jericho based him perfectly, bro. Most people wouldn't have been able to catch him, but Jericho did. That's probably from working in Mexico. There was a great German suplex by Jericho on the apron to Ospreay. And then he was flipping off the fans. And I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, did he just turned heel with no. He's a baby face.
Maybe he's a heel in England because Ospreay.
No. They weren't. They was going to try, and I guarantee Chris was going to try because they were in England. They were going to They knew that probably they would start cheering Ospreay. So I guess he was going to heel in the crowd. Plus Ospreay was going over. So I guess if you could put this kid over, you wanted to get the pop instead of the heat. So I guess he tried to heel and just to get the pop. So.
Because when Ospreay came out, he didn't get that much of a reaction, but during the match, the people were with him.
So here's another match they had. The 6-man, the House of Black against the Acclaimed. But bro, this was a no holds barred match too. Like, how many no DQ matches are they doing on this show? I don't know. But basically, the Acclaimed win, and they retained. They had the titles. I didn't even know they had the titles, but they retained the titles. They won it. All right, so they go over here. Any comment on this?
No, the Acclaimed took the titles, right?
Well, it says no hold bars match to retain the AEW Trios titles. They beat them. to retain. But I don't.
For some reason, I thought the House of Black had him.
Yeah, they're the current trios champions. Those two and Billy.
Okay, so that's a typo. They won the match. After the match, the House of Black held on their titles and presented them to Guncaster and Bowens. After the House of Black left, Bowens took the mic and called saying they were going to take Gunn to the top and said it's happened. The Burrows encouraged the fans to hold the biggest scissors party ever, and I guess all the nerds started scissoring each other in the crowd. Is that what happened?
Well, they had a cool entrance with these masks and white coats, and then during the match, they did that. That WhatsApp. They call it the scissor meet timbers. Where they open up the guy's legs, and they did it to that girl. Bro, she has zero clue how to sell it.
Right.
Yeah.
Waste of a good move.
And when they were holding her in place, like it looked like someone had to remind her to struggle.
Yeah, she looks. I saw this. Bro, she's like motionless out there.
Yeah, and someone like.
She's motionless and emotionless. She's not showing any facial expression. She's just literally like standing there. And like when they got her feet and like we're holding her legs, like she was just lying there motionless. Like her arms weren't moving, her feet weren't. It's like nothing, So,
somebody stepped on her arm, whether it was Billy or the other guy, to kind of remind her, "Oh, move your arm,"
Oh, he did. That's that's pretty funny. Yeah, she's really green. So I don't know. You know what? She looks like nobody is giving her any instruction on what to do out there, like any at all.
Obviously,
right. So then we do.
At the end, they did do a lot. Brody King that he kicked out of, and it made him look like a monster. Right. But I'm just not into Acclaimed.
Right. So the MGF against Adam Cole. This basically comes down to so what's his name? Strong comes down, and the big moment of the match is Strong slides both the referee and the guys are down. Strong slides the belt into the ring, and Strong said he's Cole's best friend. Strong told Cole to do it. Cole removed his T-shirt. Cole thought about hitting MJF with the belt and tossed it to ringside instead. Strong got mad and stormed away while Cole told him to get out of here. Then MJF hooked Cole in an inside cradle and got the 3 count 1, 2, 3. After the match, MJF approached Cole in the corner and told him that he wins either way because the people still love him. MJF said he got lucky and it could have been either one of them. MJF, who continued to hold back the back of his neck, went to ringside and grabbed the Ring of Honor tag title belts. He brought the belts inside the ring and told Cole they still have them. Then Cole threw the Ring of Honor tag title belts to the floor. MJF said Cole was who was never his friend and only wanted the title. Then MJF grabbed the title belt and threw it to Cole and then told him to get it over with. Strong stood on the apron and encouraged Cole to do it while MJF stood with his back to Cole and his arms out. Cole threw the title belt down and MJF and Cole hugged in the middle of the ring and the crowd cheered loudly. Then MJF and Cole celebrated and the confetti shut off and then Matt Taven and Mike Bennett came out and they helped Strong to the back and because he was crying and stuff and everything. So I'm imagining that they're just going to consistently do spots where they tease and then they hug, okay, and get the pop until the pop on the hug starts dissipating, and then they'll do a turn. Would you agree that's probably the direction that they're going to go?
Yeah, I think they should have done it here, but either way, the entrance is.
I don't think they should break them up yet at all.
All right, yeah, I mean, I'm fine with either one, but I would have done it here with your biggest audience.
But Konnan, it's their best stuff on the show.
Okay, big deal. They're going to be going against each other. They're still.
I think they should challenge FTR. I don't know what they're doing on Dynamite. My angle would be they come right out there. Let's challenge.
Yeah, I don't got a problem with that. Yeah, I'm not married to what I just said. I'm just,
I think they'll keep them together a long time because if they consider Double or Nothing in May their WrestleMania, they might run these guys together until midwinter or something like that.
Yeah, who knows?
Whatever. They're still entertaining. The entrance reminded me of Triple H with the throne, and the mask he wore looked a lot like what the Black family wore when they came out. So I found that a little weird. And bro, he got a huge pop early because he went to shake Cole's hand. Cole wouldn't shake his hand. And he said to go sportsmanship. And of course, everybody repeated it. And then when he finally went to shake his hand, he poked him in the eye and he got a pop. That's how over he is. He did you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing with wrestling fans is that, you can be a talented heel and be really good heel, but at a point, the fans will just start appreciating your talent as working as a heel and they'll start cheering you, and then you have to turn babyface. And then they'll cheer you even more as a babyface, So they cheer your talent, so and he's obviously.
But he did a lot of good teases. Like there was one part where Cole was like taunting him and going, "We may be friends, but I'm better than you," you know. And then there was another one when Roderick wanted to give him the championship and he didn't use it. Like you know what I'm saying? There was another part where he did the same thing he's done before, where he put his back to Cole and said, "Hit me with the belt," and Cole didn't. So they teased a lot of things, you know. Bro, he hit him with a brain buster on the ring steps, Cole to MJF, which looked really good. Then they did another thing. I think it was like in the sudden death. He did the Eddie Guerrero spot where he put the steel chair around his head and then fell on the floor like, you know, Cole had hit him with it.
Right.
This was good, man. The finish was good too because Cole accidentally hit the referee with that Panama Sunrise. That was a pop, you know. And then MJF pretended like he was going to use the diamond ring. So there was a lot of good teases, really good finish, you know, and really good camera work actually on the facials on both guys, which is important to storytelling. Another good finish.
All right, well, that's been our AEW All In review.
Boom.